Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programas offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Нашите предавания предлагат много езици. Моля вижте suprememastertv.com/schedule.
So there's an obvious solution to the amount of meat production that we do in the world, which is, let's see if we can replace it.
Continue watching to find out more about the innovations of aerospace engineer Christie Lagally for climate change mitigation and animal people welfare.
Vegan, else decomposed flesh in our stomachs. Ew.
A warm hello, luminous viewers. I am Victor. The gentle people of the Métis Nation homeland appreciate you for helping to make the world a better place. May you be empowered in your noble deeds. Welcome to the first episode of our show entitled Rebellious Foods from Aerospace to Plant-Based with Christie Lagally, vegan. Today, we are excited to present to you a forward-thinking social justice advocate and plant-based entrepreneur, Miss Christie Lagally from Seattle, USA, who walked away from a stellar career at aerospace giant Boeing to seek viable solutions for a world in peril. Christie is an aerospace engineer with over 15 years of engineering experience with 5 manufacturing patents under her name. In 2017, Christie launched her startup Rebellious Foods, aka Seattle Food Tech, which makes exceptional plant-based meat alternatives and equipment for plant-based meat manufacturing. According to Blue Horizon, a Europe-based venture capitalist firm that has invested in Rebellious Foods, Rebellyous designs and manufactures entire systems exclusively for plant-based meat production. Rebellious Foods has a line of plant-based chicken products that has received rave reviews from the public.
That's good.
No harm, no foul.
I really like them a lot. Like, a lot.
Oh, I freaked out. It tastes like chicken. I am seriously impressed. This isn't chicken, right? You didn't give me chicken.
In 2021, Rebellious Foods was awarded the Sophie Award in the plant-based protein category by Specialty Food Association, a non-profit organization dedicated to nurturing specialty food standouts since 1972. Rebellious Foods is currently working on its next product, a vegan ocean stick. Christie became a vegetarian as a child and a vegan as a teenager for ethical reasons. We were fortunate to have an opportunity to interview Christie in February 2021 when she spoke to us about the sentience of the people from the animal kingdom.
I personally feel like animals, are just like us. They're just in a different form. I really feel like animals are definitely sentient beings. I know they are. Every time my little dog tries to dig into the refrigerator to get the carrots, I know she knows exactly what she's doing. So I have 2 vegan dogs, and they're always going after carrots and broccoli and things like that. So no, I really strongly believe that animals are sentient.
Christie also believes that virtually all our ills on Earth today can be traced to the animal people raising industry, including environmental degradation, species extinction, world hunger, water shortages, global economic woes, public health deterioration, social inequity, societal moral decay, pandemics, and global warming. Of these, global warming may be the most concerning. Indeed, according to a position paper by Dr. Sailesh Rao, a Shining World Award for Earth's Protection recipient, a vegan and one of the key architects of the Internet as we know it today, the animal people industry is responsible for at least 87% of greenhouse gas emissions. The report, published by the Journal of Ecological Society, states that prior calculations have failed to include the negative impact of forests lost to animal agriculture and shows that the sharp rise in global temperatures and the advent of animal people factories in the 1950s are inextricably linked. With a vast body of evidence now showing that a balanced vegan diet is the optimal diet for human health, an earth-saving global plant-based food system seems to be a no-brainer considering what is at stake. Yet, despite the surge in the popularity of plant-based eating, the number of animal people being raised globally is projected to double by 2050. Today, plant-based meat is less than 1% of the total meat market, and meat continues to grow unabated at more than 3% a year. As an engineer rigorously trained to improve on how things are made, Christie wondered why that is and set off on a multi-year quest for an answer.
God hates meat, so if you eat meat, you are disliked by God. Seishi Onisaburo Deguchi, vegetarian.
Marvelous viewers, we will pause briefly to say a big thank you to the sun, moon and stars for illuminating our skies. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our show, Rebellious Foods from Aerospace to Plant-Based with Christie Lagally, vegan. Rebellious Foods founder Christie Lagally's first foray into the world of plant-based entrepreneurship was as a volunteer for the non-profit Good Food Institute, or GFI, during its founding year in 2016. GFI would later become one of the world's largest organizations providing direct support to plant-based entrepreneurships. Christie went on to work as a senior scientist for GFI from 2016 to 2018 and learned about the vast potential of plant-based meat as a way to diminish the harms of the animal people industry.
So there's an obvious solution to the amount of meat production that we do in the world, which is, let's see if we can replace it. It's not a perfect solution, but it's a really good solution.
Christie concluded that for plant-based alternatives to put a dent in animal people meat consumption in any meaningful way, they must match or outdo their meat counterparts in taste, nutrition, affordability, and accessibility. Of these, Christie saw affordability as the most challenging and important issue. As it stands, plant-based meat costs 2 to 5 times more than its meat counterparts. For instance, the average price for plant-based meat in the US was $9.87 per pound in 2019, whereas the price of regular beef was $4.82 per pound, and the price of regular chicken was even cheaper at just $2.33 per pound, according to mass media company Vox Media. So why is plant-based meat so expensive? It turns out that it is not so much that the prices of plant-based meat are high, it is that the prices of meat are artificially low. This is widely attributed to lopsided government subsidies in favor of the animal people industry and the ruthless corner cutting by the animal people industry at the expense of public health, worker safety, environmental protection, and animal people welfare. Christie acknowledges that it is far from a fair fight but believes that she can overcome the odds by tackling the inefficiencies in today's plant-based meat production. She spoke on this in a presentation she gave at the Summit Plant-Based Foods and Proteins Europe in June 2021.
For the most part, today's mix-and-form plant-based meat factories are those that also make animal meat. Our veggie burgers and plant-based nuggets are made on the same or similar equipment as their animal-based meat counterparts, and often in the same facility. The off-the-shelf equipment most typically used are bowl choppers, tumblers, and continuous fryers for coated products like chicken. While these tools can make plant-based meat products, they aren't very efficient at doing so and introduce many bottlenecks when used for making plant-based meat.
In a YouTube presentation about her startup, Christie further explains.
A lot of people feel that if we just increase the volume, somehow it will reduce the cost, and that's true to a certain extent, but it's just not enough. The reason the gap exists is quite simply because we make plant-based meat in an antiquated way. We use meat processing equipment to make plant-based meat, and this is problematic because these proteins have a very different texture and functionality, resulting in inconsistent quality, texture, and performance. We are literally using the wrong tools for making plant-based meat.
Rebellyous Foods was formed specifically to create the right tools.
As a manufacturing engineer, I had spent my career developing tools to make products better, most recently at the Boeing commercial airplanes, working on manufacturing tools and technology to make airplanes better. As a result, I saw an opportunity to develop tools so that we could make plant-based meat products in much higher volume, with much better quality, and to make them more affordable so that more and more people could have access to them. Because, plant-based meat is not a true solution to climate change, human health, animal welfare, or pandemic prevention unless everybody has access to it. It's not going to do us any good to be less than 1% of the market. It has to be 10, 15, hopefully 100% of the market one day.
After years of hard work, Christie and her team of more than 30 food experts and engineers debuted an innovative system of plant-based meat making in 2021 that cuts the typical manufacturing cost by an astounding 60%. Christie named the system Mach 1 after the engineering term Mach 1, which stands for supersonic speed and is a play on mock meat. Our utmost respect goes out to Christie for her extraordinary vision, compassion, and genius. We wish her and all involved continued success in their noble endeavor for the world. For more information on Rebellyous Foods, please visit rebellyous.com.
Vegan, 'cause we despise bullies.
Beautiful viewers, thank you for your warm presence for today's program. Please join us next week on Tuesday, January 18th for part 2 of this series. Coming up next is One Year King, part 8 of 9 on Between Master and Disciples, right after noteworthy news. May you find everlasting bliss through enlightenment in the grace of the Providence.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/VEG.